Hi, in this week's video, I'm going to be comparing these two NordicTrack treadmills behind me. On my right, which is your left, I have the more budget-friendly EXP 14i, and on the left, I have the Studio Series Commercial 1750. I've been testing these two treadmills extensively, and I've been using NordicTrack treadmills for well over a year now, and I'm really familiar with them. This treadmill is about a third more expensive than this one generally. Is it a third better? Let's find out. Before I talk about the differences between these treadmills, I want to talk about the areas in which they're both the same. And they both run this software, which is the IFit Software. And this is hands down the best outdoor fitness experience you can have on an indoor machine. This is where IFit really shine, and regardless of which treadmill you buy, you'll have this software. Here we are, we're running between the Arc de Triomphe and the Louvre in Paris, and this is Yosemite National Park. And they've got tens of thousands of these workouts on here. I've done hundreds of IFit workouts, and it feels to me like they're releasing more workouts like this than I can actually keep up with. The quality of these outdoor workouts is excellent. It really takes your mind off it, especially if you're not a natural fitness person or natural runner. Having these guided scenic fitness runs is just second to none. I can't recommend it enough. Next is getting fit, and whichever treadmill you choose, I really believe you'll get equally as fit using either. This one is running a 5K race with Ashley, who's an excellent trainer. And here we have a cardio workout. So you can use these treadmills without the belt running, only this one's running. If you're doing cardio or yoga. My preference though is to put it on a big screen, either with a Fire Stick, an Apple TV or Roku, something like that. Use the app on a television if you've got one. I feel like that's an easier experience than working at the end of a treadmill. Next is build quality. I would say they're both excellent. The 1750 on the right here does have a slightly more premium feel to it and also a look to it, but there's not a lot in it. Your touch points, which are the treadmill belt and the screens, are really where it counts. And these both have identical screens. Now I'll talk about this further in a moment because they do look slightly different, but they're both identical. And I'll also talk about the running belts as well because they're both very good, but slightly different. The 14i is slightly more compact. You might be able to see that it's actually slightly lower, and it is very slightly narrower. And there's a difference in the belt length as well. The belt length on this is 55 inches compared to 60. It makes no difference to me which one I'm on. They're both 20 inches wide. However, if you're very tall or you've got a very long stride length, that might be a factor for you. When it comes to space saving, both of these treadmills easily fold up, which is quite handy when you're not using them, because if you're on this, I don't know, say 45 minutes a day, then there's a lot of the day when it's just not doing anything. So having the ability to store these upright like this is a big win for me with these treadmills. This does give you a bit more of an idea of the size between the two treadmills as well. You should be able to see this one is noticeably higher. Both are easy to put down. They have kind of like a soft come down feature with this piston. Although the 1750 does seem to come down a little bit softer than the 1750. Now, both of these treadmills have exactly the same screen, but they look different, don't they? The difference is actually in the housing. So with the 14i, this is a fixed housing, so that means it won't move, but you can tilt the screen up and down, depending on the height of the user, or also if you've got lights above you. You can also put a tablet here, which I really like. So you've got a shelf here for your tablet or your phone, very useful. With the 1750, the screen here is fixed. You can't move that screen. However, the console around moves. So this tilts forward and backwards, and it also goes 180 degrees in either direction, which is quite handy if you want to do off the tread workouts, because you can just turn that to face you wherever you are. The screen height may also be a factor for you. I'm fine on both of these machines, but I do feel like I'm looking slightly down at the screen on this one compared to this one. When you think about your natural, perhaps running eye line when you're outside, you're trying to avoid dog poo, curbs, pets, etc. I feel like this is closer to where I'd actually be looking outside if I was running, whereas this is slightly down. I think it's a small difference, so it probably won't be a factor for many people unless you are quite a tall person. And if you're thinking about buying either of these machines, I'll put a link in the description, and that will take you to the best price on the NordicTrack website, where you can further compare the specs of these machines as well. It also helps support the channel, which is really appreciated because it helps me make more videos like this one. I've got both of these treadmills running now, and you should be able to hear them making adjustments. So this one has just gone from 0 to +3, and this one has just gone to +5. And this feature is called Auto Follow, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the, this one's going, it's distracting me. So with this feature, depending on the terrain, and these are both hikes, the treadmills will go up and back down to 0 according to the terrain. So this is a hike, so this one's at 8 degrees, this one's at 8 degrees as well. If it flattens off, they'll go back down to 0. And you can turn this feature off if you don't want to use it, but it just makes the workouts more immersive. And it's the same for speed as well. So if the trainer here starts running, then the treadmills will get faster. And if she starts walking, the treadmills will get slower. And all this is adjustable in 2 ways. So you've either got auto adjust, where it will follow the original workout. So the difficulty on this one perhaps is 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. It's an interval type workout, but that's too much for you. You can adjust it back to go sort of 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 difficulty, and it will carry that through the whole of the workout. And if it's not enough, you can make it harder as well. And one thing that the 1750 does that the 14i doesn't is it declines. And if you've never had a treadmill that declines, then you might not miss it. But if you've gone up a hike, for instance, like this, and you're out of breath, and then the trainer starts going downhill and you're just flat and not getting the benefit of the downhill, I don't know, I felt like when I was using this one, I did feel like I was missing out a little bit on that downhill rest when the treadmill was going downhill. So this one goes from -3 to +12, and this one goes from 0 to +12. The other way you can auto adjust these is with a heart rate monitor. I wear a Whoop, and this measures your heart rate and will keep you in particular zones if you want it to. So for instance, if the workout requires you to be in zone 2, but you're quite fit and you're only in zone 1, it will increase the intensity to bring you into zone 2. If you're in zone 4, like I am half the time, then it will decrease the intensity to bring you back into zone 2. I mean, as an asthmatic, this has just changed the way I work out. It makes working out so much less of a punishment, because on good days, I'm going faster than I am on bad days, and the treadmill is making all the adjustments for me, and it's not left for my ego to keep telling me off. So if you've got asthma or you're not particularly fit, then these features on here just take the pressure off of you and let you gradually get fitter as time goes on. If you like these hiking type workouts, and trust me, they will put you on your backside, some of them, they are difficult, then you might want to consider the 1750 over the 14i, not just because of that decline feature, because of the speed and the noise of the incline and decline motor. Both of these are set to 0. I'm just going to set them to 12, and you can see the difference in what I mean. Okay, I'll try and do this at the same time. I actually didn't think that one was moving. So hopefully you can see there is a marked difference between the speed that this one's inclining to this one. And I'll do this one on its own in a second when this one stops. So that took quite a bit longer for that to reach its full height than it did with this one, and it was quite loud. I'm going to bring this one down so you can hear the noise of this motor. So hopefully you can hear. This one's a lot quieter. Now when you're wearing headphones, it's not a huge thing, but there is a difference in the noise. Let me do this one. Yeah, just slower and noisier, and that might be a factor for you in choosing one of these treadmills. There's also a difference between the belt motor sizes on these as well. So this has a 3 continuous horsepower motor, whereas the 1750 has a 3.5 continuous horsepower motor, which is nearly 20% more powerful. And I mean, I'm the sort of person, if you put Pro, Plus or Max on something, I'll buy it. I don't care what it is. If it says that, I'll buy it. But I wouldn't let the motor size influence your buying decision, because the amount of time I've spent on this and this, I mean, I can't tell which motor. If I didn't know there were different size motors, I genuinely would not be able to tell. So unless you're especially, I guess, maybe fast or are a heavier user or want to do marathon training maybe, I think your average user won't know the difference, but only you will know if you think you might. Running comfort might be another factor for you. Now, let's just say my calves are easily offended. So I struggle with running machines, and one of the reasons why my Peloton tread went back, well, the main reason why was because the screens were falling off them, which is a different story. But another reason was it was just so hard on my legs. I would end up doing like a 10 or 15 minute warm up, a half an hour run, and then a 10 or 15 minute cool down. So a half an hour run would take me nearly an hour because of the harshness of the treadmill. And that's not an overly harsh treadmill. So with these two, these are really good if you've got more sensitive legs. If you're easily injured or you perhaps got more sensitive joints, they're very comfortable treadmills. Both are exceptionally comfortable. I would score the 1450, the EXP 14i, I would score this one an 8 out of 10 for comfort. It's really very good. Maybe somewhere between an 8 and a 9 out of 10 for comfort. And I would score the 1750 a very solid 9 out of 10, because this is an exceptionally comfortable treadmill to run on. So for normal users, I think either, if you've got sensitive legs, either, if they're really sensitive like mine, then I think the 1750 might be the way to go for you. In conclusion, both are excellent. I'd be happy with either of these treadmills. If I was going to pick, I would lean slightly to the more expensive 1750, because I do value that decline function as well as the screen height being slightly better and the slight improvement on comfort. But this is by no means a bad treadmill. This is a very good treadmill. And if cost is driving your decision, I would say look at the 5-year costs. So this one is generally more expensive than this one, maybe sort of 25% to a third more expensive sometimes. However, these are connected fitness tread machines. So that means you'll have a subscription when you're using these treadmills. And my advice with a subscription is don't just go on the month-by-month package, decide what's right for you. So if you're the only person using it, you want a single user package, which is less than half the price as the family one that we've got. If you're a family user, you can pay monthly at about $40 a month. I would try and buy it annually. When you first get the tread, add it on because it should be cheaper. And then we renew ours in the Black Friday sale. So instead of spending $480 last year on a monthly subscription for my NordicTrack equipment, I actually bought it for $250. And I've seen it a few times now. So around the Black Friday, there's generally a sale. They have a summer sale and also another sale in the year. So if you can buy your memberships annually, that will certainly save you some money. And then when you add the cost of your membership onto the cost of the tread over say 5 years, it does bring that price point a little bit closer. However, if you pick either, I think you'll be happy. As I've mentioned, I'll put a link in the description, which will take you to the best price on NordicTrack's website, and it also helps support the channel, which is greatly appreciated. And until next time, see you soon.